go through the website of Government of India, Department of Literature and School Education, you will find on the website, along with CBSE, BSB is also exhibited on that website as a National Education Board and set up by Government of India. You will find there the word set up by the Government of India. As CBSE gets set up by the Government of India, we are also set up by the Government of India, and NIS is also in the same line. But ICSE is also written there on the website. But you will find for ICSE, it is written, it is a private board, national board, private. It is not government. But we, national board, as a school, government set up school education board. Primarily, I would like to focus in this mind. And with due diligence of legality, the Government of India framed a model bylaws. I would clear the legality of the BSB. Before it, I was just focusing on the philosophy of the BSB. To undo the evils of Macaulay. This is a Amrit solution, Bharatiya Shiksha Board, as an Amrit solution to the poison of Macaulay's education. But now, I am focusing the legality, because every parent, every school functionary, management will be definitely worried if you want to join hands, be co-travelers with us, definitely the things will crop in your mind. What is the legality of the board? Before it, as you know, Mr. Tatia will be more be apprised about this fact, because whosoever is running the school, they know. Earlier, every state board grant equivalence to that board only. Before that, there is one requirement, whether you have been the member of COPSE or not. For your information, COPSE is a totally private body. It has been never mandated by Government of India to grant equivalence with any board. But over the time, it's gained an informal authority. I advocated before Central Minister Education, no, you have created by board, please you notify with your some authorized organs, Bharatiya Shiksha Board, as a school national board equivalent with all other boards. Then with the effort of Pujya Swamiji, the Central Ministry first time notified and established few parameters and nominated Association of Indian Universities, the organ of Ministry of Higher Education, to grant equivalence, evaluating the different parameters given in the notification. The parameters are NCF must be followed. Number 2, NCT must be followed. RTE must be followed. 3 parameters. So now there are so many boards, IB, Cambridge, their existence are going to be in danger, because they never align with NCT, they never align with NCF, they never align with RT. They have a little nourishment from the AIU, getting the authorization to make the learner eligible for the university admission. But our board is perfectly legal, notified by the government, created by the government. Patanjali Yoga Peeth is the sponsoring body, and in the model bylaws it has been written, the board will be economically and administratively independent, run by Patanjali Yoga Peeth. The vision will be, but legality all will be in consonance with the Government of India. This is the legality. Now, our certification is eligible for any employment in a state government, Government of India, in any private companies, for any competition. Even UGC has issued letters to all universities, colleges for our board. AICTU has already issued the letters to all the institutions. That is the eligible board. our board is a now valid, legal, National School Education Board set up by Government of India, and the functional part will be taken care by the sponsoring body Patanjali Yoga Peeth under the auspices of Param Pujya Swami Ramdev Ji and Acharya Balakrishna. This is legality. Now, the curriculum part. We are following exactly NCF, but as I said, there is a freedom with NCF. If you go through the NCF, there is a freedom. You follow the blueprint, but you can contextualize and select the content on some certain parameters which must adhere to the values embedded in NCF. But you have certain freedom also. If you go through our textbook, which has been developed by Bharatiya Shiksha Board from Balvatika 1 to class 8th, you will definitely find the difference between other publishers' books and the Bharatiya Shiksha Board books. For an example, in our Hindi literature book, because in North India, most of the states are rooted in Hindi language, but they never learn Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Assamese, Tamil, Kashmiri. They are not aware about those languages. But very beautifully, we have designed that book in such a way that at least from class 1st to class 8th, every learner of my book will learn at least 100 words from different Indian subcontinent languages and can converse on those sentences. Similarly, we have taken many famous poetic creativity, literary part from other languages in Hindi books in a translated version. Let's say we have taken the few Kurals of the first Adhyaya of Tirukural, approximately 20 in our translated version in our Hindi textbook. And the word Tamil, how it resonates in Hindi, that also taken care of in the exercise part. So that they will learn about Tiruvalluvar, they will learn about the Tamil culture, and they will also learn the Bharat is one, because which code of conduct is advocated by Kabir in the 15th century, that has already been echoed in 200 BC in the Tamil land. So as a Bharat we are one, this feeling will also be imbibed in the student. Similarly, we have taken the Subramaniam Bharati from Malayalam, we have taken many from Kannada, from Telugu, from Konkani, from Santhal even, tribals. Their poetic creativity also. And we have provisioned in each book. Mr. Praveenji, I would also like to focus your attention from Vidya Bharati, because it suits to your philosophy, that's why I am requesting your attention. Each book, whether it is an English book, whether it is a Hindi, whether it is a Sanskrit, in each class, one tribal great personality is there in our language textbook as a hero of the society. At least 48 tribal heroes has been included in our language textbooks. So we are trying this kind of different designs to unite the learner's mind as one Bharati. They should learn the different cultures, creativity, different culture, and again the focus will be in their mind that the whole cultural traits and core essence of the country is the same. Language may be different, physical forms may be different, geographical domains may be different, but as a culture we were one and will be one in the future also. This concept. Similarly in science, many people have apprehension that Bharatiya Shiksha Board will talk about ancient culture. So they will only mention about Aryabhatta, Bhaskaracharya, Brahmagupta, Surya Siddhanta, Varamihir, and Kanad. They will not talk about Newton and others. No. Anubhadra kartoyantu vishwata. We are taking all kind of modern science and technology. And there is a famous school educator, Professor S.C. Burma. Whosoever of the physics must be knowing Professor S.C. Burma. He is a Padam Shri. Government of India has awarded Padam Shri for the physics school education to him. All IITians of India you will find, without going through his book, nobody has succeeded in IIT entrance examination till now. You can ask from any IITian. He is the chairman of our science development book committee. He is heading our science books. So that no conservatism, everything must be evidence-based, not on the basis of only emotional narrative. That should be critical thinking, creativity, creative exploration, and actual concept of physics, not rote memorization and not memorizing only facts and formula. If you go through, DAB persons are here, if you go through his class 6 book, for only one book if you go through, and if you give it to any student and ask his or her remarks, then come back to me. In class 6th, we have designed 19 science concepts which are given for grade 6 competency as per NCF. How we can design aligning with NCF in a very engaging and enjoyable manner, making the science phobia out of the minds of, stress out of the minds of the learner. 19 concept, 19 story. Every chapter is like a story, not as a definition. If you go through it, then you will find. Just glimpses I have just requested. Similarly, if a social science book, if you go, the whole history, if even you go through the NCERT books right now, you will find the whole history is Delhi-centric. And disproportionate weightage to the different geographical domains. You will find the Vijayanagar dynasty, the famous Cher, Chol, Pandyans in a few lines, and you will find Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Alauddin Khilji in chapters and chapters. I am not against them. They are the historical truth. We cannot deny the truth. But that should be truthful and proportionate. That should not be beyond proportion. If you can say the Akbar great, if you think Akbar great, you say Akbar great. I am not confronting with you. But on which grounds you are saying Akbar the great, you must mention it also. And then why Karikala Chol Samrat is not the great? If you are talking about the irrigation system of Firoz Shah Tughlaq in breadth and length, the whole chapter, then why you are forgetting the Chola's dam construction and watershed management techniques in only one line in the history? Does Chol deserves merit only 2 lines in the history? Does Vijayanagar Samrajya merits only 1 page? So these kind of historical textbook content discrimination has also been eliminated in my social science book. You will find very proportionate weightage to the timeline. You are giving 5,000 years civilization to 1/3, and the 500 years in the 1/3, and 200 in the 1/3. Why? Why you are talking about the Delhi-centric everything? Why you are putting the narrative of a deficit species as if learner will learn? He will think, oh, this war defeated, this war defeated, this war defeated. If the history and social science is the rote memorization of the wars and the kings only. We should focus on socio-economic, cultural, architectural traits of India's development. And we should negate the Aryan invasion theory. Lastly, history's point. Arya Dravin. This division has been made by the British historians, James Mill. Saraswati Sindh civilization was being governed by the Dravins. They came from the Philistine, Bhumidya Sagar, के पास से, and Aryans came from the steppe region, and then they pulled them south from the South Peninsula, from the Vindhya Parvat, and Aryans dominated in the north, and Dravinians came into the south. Totally false narrative. Totally false narrative. No very tangible evidence they have. Just making the interpretation. Suppose social science is what? Getting some facts from the sources, verifying the sources, cross-validation of the multiple sources, because we are not living in that age. We are only assuming what happened. So you have to go through the literary sources, excavation sources, archaeological artifacts, or then you have to interpret. So now things are with which narrative you are interpreting the facts. Then you will draw the conclusion as per your narrative. So their narrative was to divide us. So they made all kind of theorem to prove that we were always fighting with each other. And that kind of philosophy is still remaining in the minds of the people. And that has to be wiped out with the positive facts. There is a genome sequencing. Have you heard about genome sequencing? In the corona, there was lots of discussion about that. How you analyze the genes of the persons. The foreigners took only 100 sample across the India. And they said on the basis of genome sequencing, this is very scientific data. They said it is a very scientific data that Dravinian Aryans genes are different. Only on the 100 sample. When Hyderabad Institute of Microbiology did this research and took 5 lakh samples across the country, then they proved that 95% of India across the geographies, whether from the Assam or the Punjab or Kerala, Tamilnadu or Kashmir, 95% are having the same chromosomes. This is scientific data. But we are not putting in these things in the educational curriculum and content. So we are still following the backlash of those British narrative. We have been reduced as the importer of the knowledge, copy-paste generation, nation. We are the consumer of their product, consumer of their philosophy, the consumer of their ideology. Politically maybe we are free, but still ideological freedom yet to come in India, and that will be possible only when the whole educational system will be organically transformed, and the curricular content will also be aligned with that. But we have to take care of that not only character building is the purpose of any education system. They must be prepared for the higher education entry. They must be prepared for the gainful and fulfilling employment. as per the contemporary need of the society, otherwise youth will not join your education system. Everything should be beautifully put in a basket, then only the people will be attracted. So we are putting all these kind of efforts, and about 1,000 professors and 2,500 teachers from the good institution, good practicing institution in the education field. We have connected them on our panel, and lots of discussion. Months discussion goes for one chapter if you prepare social science or any textbook chapter. Not copy paste, just take a one author, one reviewer, and put it just like the private publishers are doing. So my humble request is, please connect with it. And lastly, the point comes assessment. We are still struggling. How we will assess the child. Because whichever thought process I just explained before you, if you want to develop a child with that competency and capacity, learning standard aligned with the NCF and aligned with the Bharatiya values, then how will assess and how will it reflect in the certificate? That is the basic question. Now NCERT is also struggling, as we have do in Parak proposal. They have proposed from 9 to 12. Each year must be formative and summative assessment for learning and assessment of learning, both in each year, changing the proportion of the formative and summative assessment for learning and of learning. In 9th 30-70, 10th 50-50, 11th 40-60, and in the 12th reverse 30-70. In result, the weightage is for 9th, in the last certificate, the weightage for the 9th is the 15%, 10th is the 20%, 11th is the 25%, and the rest 40% on the achievement of the assessment of class 12. This is a holistic assessment they have proposed, and they have invited opinions and suggestions from different boards and intellectuals across the country. We are also struggling, and I need suggestions from your side also. We assess right now only intellectual intelligence, rather the facts and memorization assessment. The learner memorize and omits in the examination. I say it's a very tough word, omit, and then forget. No conceptual understanding, no Panchapadi of the Bharatiya Siksha Paddhati. Adhiti, Bodha, Abhyas, Prayoga, Abhyas, Prasar. This was the 5 stages of any learner in our old text. And the development of all 5 kosas, Annamaya kos, Pranamaya kos, Manomaya kos, Vijnanamaya kos, Anandamaya kos, which Swami Vivekananda, Maharshi Aurobindo and Rabindranath Tagore were also advocating at large. These all 5 kosas, which are mentioned in the Brahmananda Valley of Taittiriya Upanishad, should always be taken care of while nurturing the child. But how we will assess it? How emotional quotient will be assessed and reflected in the mark sheet? This is a challenge. Because if we will not ingrain this concept in the question model, then subjectivity is always there. If you say the teacher will assess the student on these parameters and he will give the marks, then it may happen. Please don't take me otherwise. I have observed in many schools. I have also the chairman of, in my services also, my family Madhyamik Shiksha Board schools, 5 schools, I had been chairman since last 25 years. And in my own village also I have opened a school of the CBSE 10 years back, now converting to the Bharatiya Shiksha Board. I felt that we try to promote the sense of inquiry and curiosity. We always say, कि student learner centric and learner must be encouraged to ask questions. But whenever learner asks the question, the teachers generally becomes irritated. So whether assessing the level of competency of emotional quotient, how we can do justice with the learner's point of view, with the teacher's point of view, with the educational point of view. If any student feels liberty, he goes out of the discipline of the jail-like discipline of the school, they will be branded a very notorious student. And he may be given a negative marks, though he may be advocating the right things, rational things, to improve the system. But you may take it otherwise. So now the question, I don't have solution till now. It's like I'm not answering on that. I'm also struggling with the question and problem. And I have also formed a committee of 30 renowned personalities of different universities, different school institutions, and different functionaries who had worked earlier in the CBSE. 10 years Chief Control Examination was Mr. Pawnesh Kumar. He is heading the committee. He had been 10 years in the CBSE as a Chief Control Examination. He is heading our committee. And many persons are there, but still I open this question before you. If you have any idea, technique, you can suggest me right now in the discussion, or you can mail me your suggestion in detail at the chairman@bsb.org.in. chairman@bsb.org.in. Any suggestion regarding assessment, any suggestion regarding curriculum content, any suggestion how can we achieve the NCF objective and more rootedness in the Bharatiya values, and if any defect, any deficiency you find in the present text, present curriculum, how can it be reformed, recorrected, restructured? That would be useful for Bharatiya Shiksha Board. I again appreciate your patience for listening me such a long time. So this is the board, and again many people of the Patanjali Yoga Samiti and Mahila Samiti, especially I cannot thank in words, I cannot express my spirit about the dedication and organizing capacity of Bahan Rajeshwari ji, who did lots of effort. I salute her and bow down to her. Again, Mr. Bala Subramaniam ji is from yesterday along with us. Mr. Santanu ji along with us. Mr. Shankarlal also with us. And Vikas Arya is our host. So we'd like to thank all personalities. And lastly, you people who have listened me patiently, again I am saying, because whenever I start talking about Bharatiya Shiksha Board, Indian culture, I generally forget about timeline. Because I never give my lecture in a very structured way. I never write down it in a PPT form. I start from one point, and whichever my soul, heart tells to me, I try to translate into words automatically. So forgive me if I am giving you more time. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad.